Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is our third podcast, I believe, that we're doing. And today we're going to talk a little bit about your inner circle and the people that you surround yourself with.
I think it's really an interesting topic that we've been discussing off and on probably since the first time we met. And so we thought that it would be something valuable to talk with all of you about. Um, if you listen to any kind of, personal growth giant or, someone who's coaching on personal growth or success, they talk about how who you surround yourself with is kind of what you become. So if you want to be successful, you want to surround yourself with successful people. If you want to, be making bigger decisions for yourself and, make better choices about your financial situation, you want to surround yourself with people who are in a good position that way. Um, and I think that over time, you find that if you truly want to be successful and you truly want to make those positive changes in your life, you do start to even unconsciously start to seek out people who feed
Right.
that part of what you're looking for. So
just become naturally drawn to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I think that that's part of why we hit it off so well, because I think we both have pretty like mindsets as far as growing and how we focus on our business and our lives, and I think that um, we really just sort of feed off of each other's energy that way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel that I feel that we're both also new into building our businesses. I mean, newer at least, where it's easier to bounce things off of one another. It's easier to celebrate each other's successes because we've recently been through something similar. So I think the more you surround yourself with people like that, even that have been doing things more long term than you have. So other friends of ours that have owned businesses for years, they've been where we have been. They started where we started, so it's just easier to relate to those people. And I feel like conversation's a little bit more organic, and it's something that you can just relate to much easier.
And I think that those conversations are a little bit more meaningful as opposed to just filling the space with stuff. Maybe you start to find yourself pulling away from maybe drama or, something that could turn into a toxic situation or things that don't necessarily fuel you.
Right.
I think that you just find yourself naturally having less and less time to think about those things and focus on them. So you do seek out people who are also feeling that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I know myself, like I have a lot of friends that I've been friends with for a long time, and they're it changes how you interact with your friends. You have a different focus. You're more intentional about the time that you spend with them and the conversations that you have. I think you remain friends with a lot of those people, but you do seek out more.
So these friends that you're talking about, are they friends that also own businesses or have
Not necessarily.
Okay, because that's something I can relate to. I feel like you do start to navigate towards other groups that are either in higher positions at their job or have more responsibility or they do own businesses, because I feel that in our position, um, we work different hours. We have way much more to do when it comes to, like, if you own a business, it really doesn't ever shut off. If you go home, you're still working. I don't think a lot of people understand that, or if people do see that, they think, oh, you just work so much, and it's like, well, that's the life I chose, like, and that's fine, because I mean, I love what I do. Like, it doesn't ever feel like work, but those friends that aren't similar in similar situations, they don't understand that. So, you
Right.
know, they have a little bit more lax in their schedule, or they have a little bit more, you know, whatever. And it's just kind of a little bit of two different worlds. So yeah,
Yeah.
then when you do, like, we have a set of friends that also own a business, and we do a lot with them because they can relate to schedules. They also have children, and they, you know, we're just very similar.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
just gravitate more toward those people.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I own a business, but then I do also have, my job in the corporate healthcare industry, and I feel like it's kind of the same thing in that aspect. I do that job as if I'm a business owner as well. And so it isn't just a 9 to 5 punch in, punch out, and
Right.
you don't have to worry about anything once you're punched out. Where
I mean, you're still getting emails at home.
yeah,
Like, even before we
absolutely.
sat down to do this, you're
Yeah.
still getting
Yeah.
texts and emails. It never stops.
Right.
And you
Right.
know,
And only certain people understand that, and not
people can say they understand it, but I just
right.
really feel like unless you've lived it, you don't understand it.
Right. Yeah, and it can almost be frustrating to those people. Like, the people who don't have the same kind of responsibilities and focus as you. Um, a lot of people, like for me, a lot of people, I have friends that can take a vacation and just like punch out and they're off the clock and it's no big deal. Well, I'm going away for a few days this week and I'm already preparing the friend and the rest of my team and my day job, that I'm going to be out, but I'm still going to be checking emails and focusing on what I need to do for work because it doesn't stop, and that's how you stay successful.
Yep.
By staying focused.
I do say I try to limit it. Like this past weekend when I was gone for 4 days, and I did try to limit it. But there are things I still have to do. Like if you own a business, you can't just
punch
stop.
out.
Right. You don't just stop.
Right.
And I have an amazing team of girls here at our office, but still, like, there are emails coming in. There's orders that have to be filled. There's contracts that have to be signed. There's things that have to be done because those are things that they can't do. Yeah. And I mean, it's getting towards the end of the month as well. So things have to, there's some deadlines that are approaching.
Right.
Or if there's an emergency, and, like you have to be available. So yeah, it's, you try to balance, and we've talked about balance before. I feel like I'm getting better at it, but I think that, I was with, over the weekend, I was with my mother and my sister. My mother's also a business owner, so I mean, she understands if I'm on my phone, I'm not just ignoring people. I mean, because let's get real, everything these days, I mean, you can do on your phone. So emails, messaging, ordering, all that stuff. So I know that she's aware, like if I'm just sitting here like this, I'm not just
tuning her out.
Scrolling through whatever and not listening. But it's, if you're not with people, that understand that, sometimes I'm sure they can be frustrated or take offense to it, thinking like their the time together isn't important when you're just trying to multitask.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and sometimes I have a hard time with like setting aside those responsibilities or thinking about what I need to be doing. But you have to do that as well. I know, like for myself, my mom, my family doesn't necessarily have the same, they don't have the same focus. I mean, my parents are retired, and so any of us walking around with our phone out, I do feel like it's something that's not necessarily understood. No offense, mom, I'm not saying anything negative about you, but you pull out your phone and right away that everybody's thinking, oh, she's not focusing on
right.
what we're doing here. That's not true at all. There's a whole world of stuff that's going on out here that is still in your head that you have to be thinking about. So, and then there's like the social media marketing aspect of things too. If you do that you have to have your own brand personally, you have to have it professionally, if you're trying to build, more of a presence, you have to be focusing on that as well. So it's like, it never stops.
No,
Yeah.
it never stops. So, and also the time that when you do have that free time, when it comes to your inner circle, you want to be with people that are positive, uplifting, the people that can relate.
Yeah.
Your free time, your vacation time is very, very valuable.
Mm-hmm.
So you really have to kind of be choosy on who you bring in to spend that free time with.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to be with somebody who is not understanding or somebody that's negative and you're trying to enjoy a weekend away and then you have this negative energy with you, I mean, that's not really a vacation. That's not really
Right.
time that you're getting to have a break. It is just more draining. I mean, let's get real. I'm always not here and stressed. If I am not at work, I'm usually stressed about what I have to do and what's going on. So then if I'm away with somebody and it is a very negative, draining experience, like it is not helping me at all relax.
Right.
And I just can't. Yeah, that's when I kind of like have to really be selective on who I spend my extra time with.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I had a thought and it escaped me. Mm-hmm. I think I was focusing on your watch band for a second.
Oh, thank you. I got a new one.
I really like it a lot.
We were talking about Apple Watches the other day in the bands, and I need to step up my game because I only have like 2.
And here I am with my like super plain one on today. Normally,
but it's very sweet.
It does go.
Very chic.
It goes with the outfit.
Yeah, it really does. And I'm impressed that you have a purse with you today.
I know I have a purse.
She never has a purse. She never wears a coat. She's like my other friend who is the same, and you guys are. Maybe that says something. I surround myself. I mean,
with coatless
people.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Huh. It's got to be something.
Well, you both have great energy. I think that you both are great sense of humor. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe you can surround us.
We balance out the no coat.
But then what does that say about me? Do I always have like 2 bags, a coat?
Maybe you're looking for people who don't have a lot of extra baggage.
Oh my god.
You're so visual about it. You're like, she's not carrying anything with her. I want to be with her.
And then here comes me.
And normally I'd be like, oh god.
Oh my god.
Look at this girl with all this stuff.
All this baggage, all this extra stuff. Like, you're helping me let things go.
Right. I'm more of a minimalist, I guess, than you are.
Yeah.
No, not really. No. I think we should talk about like work friends. I think we should talk about how we handle that.
Work friends as in people we are working with, or people that are like clients that become work friends?
Well, I think that's two different levels.
That's true.
I mean, I guess like when I think about work friends, I'm thinking about like
work friends, people that you work with that you develop friends.
I work with that maybe aren't in the same position or same level as myself. Mm-hmm. At work, maybe people who I supervise, people who report to me. I mean, I guess I don't normally look at it that way, but how I manage those relationships, I'd like to think that.
Yeah, because you want to keep them professional, but you also, you want to have a good friendship with people.
Yeah, and I have a really hard time like keeping everybody at an arm's length and not having like some personal conversations with people because, I mean, I like to get to know the people that I'm working with, and I want them to know me, and I want them to know my personality, but I think you have to be selective. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have to be selective in who I really let all the way in. Like, I know for a lot of people, like, the first thing that they want to do when they meet somebody new and they like them or they want to know more about them is, they go right for social media. Like, oh, let's look at her Facebook and let's see what she do. What is she doing? Who is she friends with? What does she like to do? I didn't do it to you either, which I think that says something as well. But like, and then then I get the friend request, and I'm like, I have to be selective about who I accept
that
as a
awkward.
friend.
Come on, let's be real about that. The
It is
awkward
awkward.
friend request that you're like, all right, are we gonna do this? Or like,
Right. Yeah, and I mean it's hard to be Facebook official when you are, you're overseeing someone, or you have that kind of a relationship with them at work on a work level,
right?
And having them see, like, if you go out and do something fun, or they really get to learn, like, who you really are as a person, if you're someone who posts a lot on social media, which sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. So I mean, it's awkward, but it's kind of, I think it's necessary to keep some distance from some.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't like them. It's not because I don't want to be friends with them. I think it's just more.
There has to be a boundary.
Yeah.
And a line.
Layers.
Yeah. Layers. Yep.
How about from like you being a business owner and having employees? Do you feel like you do a little bit of the same thing, or do you?
Yeah, but I feel that I just feel like when it comes to social media stuff, I'm kind of boring. So I guess it really, like, it's a lot of pictures of my kids, or I always try not to post things in general just about like politics, religion, things like that. I don't want to use Facebook for that stuff. I have my own beliefs. I have my own thoughts on things. It's more for if I think things are funny, or the kids, and because we have, if family that you don't see, they can kind of, like, enjoy things that you've done with your family by seeing the kids grow and seeing pictures and things like that. So I guess for me, I find that when it comes to clients versus like the work friends, I don't have an issue with letting them in when it comes to social media, but maybe clients, I feel like that has to be more of a line that's drawn.
Mm-hmm.
But that's me. That's just my personal preference.
Yeah.
And if someone doesn't say I would ever submit a friend request to somebody and they don't accept it, I don't take it personally. Like,
I would say I forget.
Yeah, I feel that too. Actually, that's funny that you said that, because I just, sometimes it'll say like people that they suggest you be friends with.
Yeah.
And then I'll like click on it, and then I'll see like these lists of requests. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Like, I honestly, like, I feel like, too, kind of going back to just owning a business and the different, like, social media things you have to do, like, there is the Facebook, the Instagram, the TikTok, and then there is, like, the business section of the Facebook page. There's so many different apps and things that I open on a daily that it is something I really don't, I'm bad at keeping track of, like, my personal Facebook over my business Facebook.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I agree. And I think the more you focus on the business side of it, the less time or energy you have for the personal side of it.
Yeah, no, that's true. I know, like, there's some people too that have two Facebook, like a personal and a business one. So I mean, there's that too. I mean, so if you have somebody who requests you and you're like, you just kind of want to, keep it at a certain distance, and maybe doing the personal or the business one instead of having a personal one.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really, I find too that working with people and like, having a close circle of people that you're doing similar things with, and trying to also pick and choose the people that you feel that are wanting to truly grow their business or truly do better things, keeping them close versus the people that are either I don't want to say doing the bare minimum or like just kind of coasting or just want to like, I don't want to say like, oh, this is just like my fun hobby or, something like that. Like I feel that I gravitate more towards people that are, I think, a little bit more driven, seriously focused. I feel that I can see that in them versus the people that are just kind of doing their thing and don't really want to go forward.
Yeah. I mean, I've more than once I've said like, I wonder what it's like to be able to just kind of go about your day to day and not worry about the big picture, trying to do more, be more,
go home and just like turn everything off.
Yeah, I like, but I don't know that I would want. I don't know that I would want that. I mean, I have the most energy and feel the best when I'm thinking about the things that are going to help me grow and just keep moving forward. Where I don't even know how I would just.
You don't know what you would do.
Like, yeah,
I would have to take up a hobby because I would have to do something else.
And then that hobby would become something that I want to grow into something else. Like,
what am I going to do next?
Yeah. Like, how do I turn this into some sort of a business or like something where I can, I don't know, like.
Is that what you wanted to do?
Yeah. Totally. That's totally what it is. I was thinking the other day about like all the things that I have going on in my life. Like, it's a lot. Like, I have a lot going on, but it doesn't necessarily feel like a lot until you really list it out. Like, oh, I have.
It never feels like a lot until I feel like somebody says to me, like, when do you have time to do that? They'll say, you do this, you do that, you do that.
Yes.
You're going to school, and now you're doing a podcast with someone. And I'm like, well,
I've been getting that a lot lately.
I don't know.
What? Now you have a podcast?
I just say you maybe.
It's true. I was gonna say I like the pause there. Like, no. Hard pass. Don't. I do appreciate that we both have that same kind of thought about the touching, which is interesting considering what I do and how we first met. The fact
we
that
both have jobs that we actually have to physically touch people. Yes. But I don't know. I'm okay if I initiate it, maybe. I don't know.
Well, and you're going into it expecting to have someone touch you. Like,
I don't know. There's a personal space. I don't know. Is it something to do with? Is it a woman thing? Is it just the job we're in? Because is it a mom thing? Like there's so many different things. Like I feel that I don't know. Sometimes I get home at the end of the day and I'm just like I just need like my bubble. I need to not be touched. I need to just.
I used to feel kind of bad about that. Like when I would have people say, "Oh, Jessica's not a hugger. She doesn't like being touched. She's kind of cold." And like, I used to feel bad about it. And now the more I talk to people, there are so many people that don't want to be hugged. They don't want to be touched. Like, they want to be in control of their space and whether someone's going to invade that or not. And it's a little validating. I feel a little bit better about it.
Yeah. No, I don't know what it is. I know a lot of other people have the same feeling.
Yeah.
I'm not a psychiatrist by any means, so I don't know what the deal is. If anyone has a suggestion or
please tell us.
I would love to know what that is, but
successful people don't like to be touched. Driven people don't like to be touched. Maybe it throws off our focus.
I don't know. I know other people that aren't in the same position that don't like to be touched. So I think it's a whole other thing. But
and I know people who are kind of in the same position that are totally fine with whipping out a big giant hug the second they see you, and I'm fine with some people. Like, if I just know that that's how our relationship is and that's what they're gonna do, I mean, I'm fine with it.
But it's happening.
Not us.
It's gonna happen.
No, it isn't.
You're waiting for it.
No, it isn't. If you're crying and you look like you want a hug, or you like, maybe I'd consider it. But I really don't. Like, if I'm crying, I don't really want a hug.
No. I was asked that the other day, which was very sweet. I was very overwhelmed, and one of my girls asked, was just like, I know I just gotta pull myself together. Like, that's all I need.
Yeah.
is just like a moment. It's just live a very overwhelming life, and sometimes it bottles up, and you just need to. You're good.
Yeah.
And then it's all better. The hug will make it worse.
It's your own hug to yourself. Like just
the hug will
pull it together, lady. Like
I remember
snap out of it.
Funny story, my wedding day. It was like very overstimulated, and we rented this house, and we were getting ready, and it was like all of a sudden people started asking me a lot of questions, and I was getting very worked up because I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is a lot today. So I went upstairs, and I was starting to like wanting to like cry. My the tears were coming, and I don't know who said, like someone was like very like, are you okay? Like, and then my mom came up to me and she's like, snap out of it. She's like,
exactly,
pull it together.
That's what I want.
Pull it together right now.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good now. So
So if I ever seem like a train wreck, that's what I want you to do.
I usually try and see, but then I've had friends in the past where they are major criers and they're so much more emotional than I am, and I think that's why we don't click sometimes, is like because I just can't. I don't want to have to tiptoe around somebody. I don't want to have to worry, oh my goodness, is this going to make that person cry? Are they going to cry? Are they going to cry today? Like
that's stressful.
It is very stressful. And
like, how am I supposed to handle that for them? Like, can I handle it the way that I would want it handled for myself, or can I?
No, I can't.
Do I have to be like super soft with them?
When people are like that, you can't. And I'm just, I'm not wired that way, I guess. I'm not, and that's okay, and
not
it's
everybody
okay.
Can handle a suck it up sister. Like you have to.
That's okay, and if they're an emotional person, that's okay too. But you know, like you learn with people that you. I mean, if you need to have an emotional breakdown, then you need to know that you're going to probably have to talk to somebody who will be a little bit more receptive to that and understand that, because I don't know. I sound so bad. I sound
I totally get it.
I hear myself say, and I'm like, oh my god, you're so mean.
Are you thinking in your head about anybody that might be like going, oh, that interaction that I had with Crystal, that was why that happened?
That why she was just like staring at me and waiting for me to be done. Oh my gosh.
I think anybody who's like a true friend, they know. Like they can. I guess so. They know how they understand. Yeah.
They will understand.
Yeah.
But I guess
yeah, and I mean people who are your true friend, like they're.
And maybe that's again going back to the topic that circle. I have people that I feel like thinking of it right now, the people that I talk to most are very similar to, I feel like, me when it comes to the emotional thing and how I handle situations.
Me too.
So, and I'm very good with that. But
makes things easier for sure.
Yeah, and it's okay too. I've come to accept too that my circle has gotten smaller.
Yeah. And
I think that just naturally comes with a lot of things in life, with having kids, having different job positions. And I'm okay with that because I don't have time for a large group of people. And my main priority is, like, the people I want to spend time with are my family. And
yeah, I was just talking with someone about that, and like how it's really hard to manage a group of friends. It's having a few that you can really spend quality time with. You have like interests. You're not bogged down by nonsense. I think it's much easier than having like lots of different friendships to manage. And
I mean, I've heard, like I'll have people come in and they'll be like, oh my gosh, like we are going on vacation with like 6 other couples, and I'm like, oh my god, that sounds like so much fun. And then after I'm like, that sounds like a lot of work.
Right,
that
because
like
you have to maintain some of those relationships, like
that
outside of the trip.
That's a lot of. I don't know how you are with trips. conversation with people that I know that we can be apart and then come
Yes.
together and not
Yes.
have like a chaotic trip where like, you know, there's so much going on. Like I want to relax, it's my vacation.
Right.
But of course, like it'd be fun to like have a group of people to do like a night out with or something like that. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know, I'm very good and content with my smaller circle.
As am I. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The people you feel like you don't have to make a lot of effort with, like the conversation is natural. Right. It is like when Trudge and I went out with you and your husband, like it's just a very organic conversation. It's relaxed. You know, there's not a whole bunch of people there where you're trying to make conversation with everybody.
Right.
Yeah, and I think as you get older, I just feel like that's just a natural part of just things kind of getting a little smaller.
Yeah, I agree. This was a great topic.
Yeah, I like this one. I have more to say about it, but
in the interest of time, I'm sure people probably don't want to hear us spending their entire day listening either. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't want to, but if you're listening to this episode, hit the subscribe button so you get a notification when we have a new episode out.
Mm-hmm. It's good to know.
I know a lot of you are listening, but you haven't necessarily hit the subscribe button yet.
Jessica's very passionate about this.
I'm super passionate about it. I want to get our number of subscribers up. If you're listening to us anyway, you might as well just hit the subscribe button.
Is it free to subscribe?
It's
That's
free
probably
to subscribe.
A stupid question, but I'm not very familiar.
Right now, it's free to subscribe.
Oh, okay.
I mean, when we get much bigger.
Oh my gosh.
It won't be. So you want to get in early.
Don't make me fail.
Exactly. The free sale right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And don't forget to share our, any thoughts, ideas for topics with us.
We've had suggestions.
Yep.
And we like them. We have our own list too that we're kind of working through. Mm-hmm. So it's been fun.
Yeah. We've gotten some really interesting suggestions recently. So let's talk through some of those.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, I look forward to doing this again really soon with you.
Why not next week?
I feel like I've grown as a person already today. We should do it again next week. I think that'd be a great idea.
That's because we do.
I know. Well, at least we're committed to continuing.